Dialogue is an annual intergovernmental security forum held in Singapore, and it started in 2002. It is organized by the IISS, or the International Institute of Strategic Studies, which is a leading think tank specializing in security and defense issues. The dialogue will provide a good platform for defense ministers, military chiefs, government officials, and security experts around the world to discuss and address regional and global security challenges. While in Singapore, the President will also meet with the new leadership of the country of Singapore, President Tharman Shanmugaratnam and Prime Minister Lawrence Wong. The President likewise will have a brief meeting with the former Prime Minister and currently Senior Minister, Lee Hsien Loong, on the sidelines of the Shangri-La Dialogue. This ends the overview, and I will turn the mic to Asik Rao, who will expound on the significance of these visits. Thank you.
Good morning, Daphne. Ambassador Daza. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacañang Press Corps. As spokesperson Ambassador Daza mentioned, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Luisa Araneta Marcos will be conducting their state visit to Brunei Darussalam from 28 to 29 May 2024. And directly afterwards, the first couple will be flying directly to Singapore, where the President will be undertaking a working visit to Singapore to deliver the keynote address of the 21st edition of the IISS Shangri-La Dialogue. This would be the President's first state visit to Brunei Darussalam. This year marks 40 years of relations between the Philippines and Brunei Darussalam, as both countries established bilateral relations in 1984. Aside from the robust bilateral relations between our two countries, Brunei is the Philippines' close partner in a number of multilateral organizations, particularly in ASEAN and in the BIMP-IAGA. Our ties are multifaceted, encompassing cooperation in defense and security, maritime, agriculture, and trade, as well as people-to-people relations. This state visit is a signal of our vibrant relations, as both countries conducted the Joint Commission for Bilateral Cooperation chaired by the DFA last year. This state visit will provide an avenue for both leaders to take stock of the progress of our commitments and ongoing bilateral undertakings and fine-tune them accordingly. Aside from being part of the tradition of the ASEAN leaders visiting fellow ASEAN countries, this state visit is in line with the President's commitment to continue exploring avenues for economic growth and job opportunities for Filipinos, as the Business Forum is aimed to boost trade and investments into the country. Meanwhile, the working visit in Singapore will see the President deliver the keynote address to the 21st edition of the Shangri-La Dialogue. Only one leader delivers this address every year, and President Marcos was given the distinct honor for this year's Shangri-La Dialogue. As Ambassador Daza mentioned, this dialogue is attended by multiple stakeholders in the defense sphere, ranging from heads of governments, heads of states, and defense ministers to industry players. Through this platform, the Philippines will have the opportunity to provide these stakeholders an important source of accurate, objective information on international strategic issues important to the region. We expect about 40 countries to be attending this Shangri-La Dialogue with about 500 participants. On the sidelines of the visit, the President will also meet with the new Singaporean President, as well as with the new Singaporean Prime Minister, who was just sworn in just last week, May 15. This year also commemorates the 55 years of Philippines-Singapore diplomatic relations, and the meeting between the new Singaporean leaders and the President comes at this very auspicious juncture. Also, very recently, if you recall, Singaporean Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan was also in Manila, and this is all part and parcel of our celebration of the 55 years. This swing visit demonstrates that the President's commitment to ensuring a peaceful, secure, and prosperous Philippines for all of our country here and abroad. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, now we open the floor. Raquel Bayan, Radyo Pilipinas.
Good morning, ma'am. May we know, you mentioned earlier that this is an annual event, ma'am. Is this the first time that a Philippine president will going to speak in a dialogue?
Yes, it is the first time.
All right.
That's why it's a very distinct honor for the president.
All right, ma'am. And then limited, hindi lang po limited sa defense officials and experts po yung audience. Meron rin pong state government, you mentioned earlier. Meron po kayang possibility na magkaroon ng bilateral meeting si Pangulong Marcos sa sidelines ng dialogue?
Yes, there are some heads of governments also attending the Shangri-La Dialogue, and some parliamentarians. So we expect several side meetings during the Shangri-La Dialogue, and you will be finding out once we complete all the arrangements. Thank you.
Ma'am, lastly na lang po, ma'am, sa with regards po sa rising COVID-19 sa Singapore, meron po kaya tayong mga arrangement or i-implement na special health protocol sa Singapore, like for example yung ginawa pa natin sa China na bubble setup?
Right now, Singapore does not have this bubble setup just like in China. But we will, of course, the usual DOH, WHO proposals or the usual protocols that they have informed all of us. So we will be closely following that.
I'm sorry, yung bilateral meeting po ng Pangulo natin kasama yung mga leaders ng Singapore, ano po kaya yung possible na i-brought up ni Pangulong Marcos?
As you know, Singapore is an economic powerhouse. So this is one of the main points that we will be taking up. And of course, we want to ensure that the relationship continues under the new administration in Singapore.
Okay, Ivan Mayrina, GMA7.
Ano ho kaya ang expected outcomes ng trip na ito in relation to advancing our interests in the West Philippine Sea, considering the recent developments in the region?
I presume for all meetings and as well as the speech of the president, his keynote address, this issue will be touched, but I do not wish to preempt the statements of the president.
Considering that, especially the Shangri-La Dialogue, heads of state, defense ministers, industry players will be there. So I was wondering kung ano kaya yung the outcomes that we might be hoping for after this visit.
I'm sorry, I don't want to preempt the statement of the president. Thank you.
Okay. Maricel Halili, TV5. Oh, go ahead, ma'am.
When you have a forum such as this, it gives a good platform for a country to actually expound and articulate its position on key issues. So it's important, it will be an important platform for us to actually also convey our positions relative to what is happening within the region and what we are advocating for. So it's something that is useful not only for those who are attending, but also for the country who's actually participating in this international forum.
Thank you. Go back to Maricel.
Ay, magandang umaga po. Ma'am, may we know, since this is the first state visit of the President in Brunei, are we going to expect agreements that will be signed during his visit?
Yes, we are actually currently in the process of finalizing texts for several MOUs. But I can inform you that the MOUs that we are working with the Bruneian side will include priority areas ranging from agriculture to food security, maritime cooperation, tourism.
And pwede pong paki-elaborate kung ano yung mga topics that will be discussed between the President and Sultan Bolkiah?
Focus, without preempting the discussions between the two heads of states, but we want to focus in on economic cooperation. As you know, Brunei is a powerhouse in terms of energy, but they are also a good source of a good market also for us.
Ma'am, I understand you're still finalizing yung mga side meetings ni President sa Singapore, but may we have an idea kung ilan yung ina-expect natin or yung ina-arrange natin na leaders sa side meetings?
We are looking at least two for foreign officials, not necessarily leader level. Thank you.
Okay, Alvin Baltasar, Radyo Pilipinas.
Gandang umaga po. Just to be specific po doon sa business side na ma-attenan din ni Pangulo Marcos, how many business agreements po yung inaasahan natin na mapagkakasundoan o pipirmahan ni Pangulong Marcos?
For this, it would have to be the DTI to answer that question. Thank you.
Any more questions? Jean Mangaluz, Inquirer.net.
Hi, ma'am. You mentioned that this is a forum to give accurate information on strategic situations. Do you see this as an opportunity to counter disinformation campaigns by certain countries when it comes to, let's say, the West Philippine Sea?
Certainly, it will be an opportunity, but I don't want to preempt the keynote address of the President.
Okay. Birthday girl, Eden Santos, Net 25.
Hello, Mike. Good morning po. Gusto lang po namin malaman kung kasama po ba ang China doon sa Shangri-La Dialogue.
Happy birthday, Eden. Kala ko si Yusek Daphne. Definitely. Actually, if you're interested in details in the Shangri-La Dialogue, information is available on the website. And I saw the list. I believe, yes, there will be a delegation from China. Thank you.
All right. We're good? Yeah. This concludes our press briefing. Thank you very much, Spokesperson Ambassador Daza and Assistant Secretary Rao. And thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Good morning.